Okay, I'm going to start my color series out by explaining the different types of hair color. I know a lot of clients call the salons and they ask for, let's say, a relaxer and a rinse. And I know that the whole time they don't mean a rinse, they mean a semi or a demi-permanent color. Now, we have to educate our clients to know the difference between a rinse and a semi and demi-permanent color. Now, a rinse is something that, let's say, an elderly lady, let's say at church would wear. It's that blue color that's in their hair. That's a rinse. The most popular one is called fanciful. That's a rinse. It's very temporary. It's a temporary color. Rinses are temporary. They're temporary up until the next shampoo. Or if your client wears a hat or a hood or sleeps on a certain type of pillowcase, it's temporary up until then. I have one on hand that I'll show you. It's just called a Color Refresher and Conditioner by Motions, and it is in pretty gray. So this is an example of what a rinse would be. You have to educate your clients that no, you don't want to rinse, but I do have color for you. You don't even have to go into semi-permanent and demi-permanent unless they really ask you. Other than that, you don't have to go into detail because you are the doctor of their hair. Okay, let's go into semi-permanent colors. And before we start at semi-permanent colors, I'd like to clarify the difference between semi-permanent and demi-permanent colors. A lot of people don't know the difference. Semi-permanent colors work straight out of the bottle. No big deal. They work straight out of the bottle. They don't have to be mixed with anything. Demi-permanent colors have to be mixed with some type of accelerator or catalyst or something. That's a demi-permanent color. Okay, I'll show you some examples of both. I'm going to show you examples of semi-permanent first. Jazzing would be semi-permanent, but however, for me, it'll be the last one I grab off the shelf. And I'll go into that a little later in this series, but not today. I don't want to confuse anyone. We're just learning the different colors today. That will be semi-permanent. These two will be semi-permanent. Very semi-permanent. Okay, let me move up to demi. Now, the best ones I've worked with in demi are the Redken Shades EQ. I love them, love them, love them, and so do my clients. Okay, Shades EQ has to be mixed with a, what they call a color processor. It's an accelerator. Okay, then we have another one, and some people think just because colors are in a box that they're permanent, but this is not permanent at all. This mixes with an accelerator also. Very low, and accelerators are very low volume developers, very low volume. So this is a Demi Biologics. I think that's all the demis I have up here on the table right now, but semi-permanent colors have a very large color molecule. So they just land, when you put them in the hair, they land and sit right on top of your client's hair, right on top of the cuticle. They don't absorb in no shape, form, or fashion. Therefore, they will only allow you to either tone your client's hair, mix the gray, make it darker, or add some type of depth to it. They won't lighten the hair at all. Not at all. Demi-permanent is pretty much the same thing. However, they are mixed with a low volume developer. I try not to go over 5 volume when I'm working with demi-permanent. Some lines, they have 8 volume, some have 10 volume, all that. But me, myself, personally, I try to stay under 5 volume. Okay. Uses for temporary, semi, and demi-permanent colors. Now, temporary colors comes in liquids like Fanciful. They come in creams, mousses, gels, sprays. I have a spray here that I use if I'm doing a guy's cut, and it's just the black ice. It rinses right out, no big deal. That's a temporary color. It rinses right out, or it wears right off. If he wears a hat, it's out of there, it's gone. But that's just something very temporary, just temporary. So let's go on to semi-permanent, demi-permanent. Semi-permanent is something that you could use at the bowl. Let's say you did your client's color 2-3 weeks ago, and they come in today just for a shampoo and a set or a cut or whatnot, and it's not time for them to get color. And keep in mind, stylist, keep in mind, if it's not time for the service, or the service is not beneficial to your client or their hair type, don't do it. I know there's money to be made out there, but believe me, you'll make more denying the service in a professional manner than just doing the service anyway because you have a client who's willing to pay for it. Your reputation is on the line. That's worth everything. That's priceless. Okay, so let's say you had a client that came in for a color a couple weeks ago. Now they come in for a shampoo set or a cut, whatever. This demi-permanent, or this semi-permanent is a great way at the shampoo bowl just to refreshen your client's hair. I call it a color glaze service, a glazing. I charge about $15, $20 depending on the length of the client's hair. Could be more if it's real long hair. Okay, that's when they come into play. They also come into play when your client wants to go darker than their natural hair. Anytime you go darker, it's best for the safety of your client's hair, for the health of your client's hair, for the beauty of your client's hair. It's best to use a demi-permanent color over a permanent color. And I explain to you the reasons why. We haven't even gotten into permanent color yet. It's best to use a semi or demi-permanent color going darker, like for, let's say, lowlights in the foil or out of a foil, however. Because the higher the level of hair, the higher the level of the color, let's say, let me take one for instance. Let's say 6. Let's say, okay, colors level 1 to 10. So the higher the level number, the more alkaline that's in that tube of color. If you're using color number 10, that's a lot of alkaline. If you're using color number 1, that's a little alkaline, but it's still alkaline. If you guys have clients that get the same color all the time and you notice the hair is getting darker and darker on the ends, it could be that the hair is porous. Alkaline builds porosity. Porosity grabs cool colors, anything cool based. So that could be green, that could be violet, it could be anything cool based. It'll grab. Porous hair will also reject warmth. So if you're toning or dyeing your client's hair red or anything warm, and you notice the next time you see them, it's not as brilliant. It looks dull, and I just did it not that long ago. It's because the hair is porous, and porous hair or porosity rejects warmth. So you want to be careful on what you're putting on the ends of your client's hair. Anytime you have the opportunity to work safe, please do. Now, a lot of people or a lot of stylists have an issue using demi-permanent color. It fades too fast. That's a myth. Demi-permanent color lasts just as long as permanent color if you apply it according to the manufacturer's directions. What about shampooing your client's hair and then proceeding to put the demi-permanent color on? Did you condition it first? Conditioner could be a blocker for whatever product you're trying to use. Did you thoroughly towel dry the hair? Water is a blocker. Make sure you follow manufacturer's instructions and make sure you follow just basic general instructions. Most importantly, make sure you understand, you know and understand the law of hair color. We get a lot of clients come into the school I work at, and I went to Walmart, I went to Osco's or Walgreens, and I bought this box color, and it didn't turn out right. First of all, the woman you see on the box, you don't know what her starting point was. You don't know. The starting point comes into play for your ending point. Okay? You have your natural pigment plus the porosity of your client's hair plus the condition of your client's hair plus the artificial pigment that you like to put on your client's hair that will equal your final result. All those things have to go into your equation of coloring the hair. You have to know when to pull temporary color. You have to know when to pull semi or demi or even permanent color off the shelf for your client. Let me give you a case scenario. Okay. You have a client and her hair is artificial pigment. And when I say artificial pigment, I mean color. Any color, anything. Artificial pigment, level 5. Okay? So let's say 6 weeks has gone by and she has half an inch of outgrowth. Now, what we're going to do at the base, which is her outgrowth, zone 1, some people call it, we're going to apply permanent color in the whatever your formula is that led her to the level 5. Now, what would you apply from the mid strands or level 2 or zone 2 all the way out to the ends? Would you pull her permanent color through? Let me answer that before any of you answer it. Most stylists, especially those newer in the business, would say yes. I just put it on her base and pull it all the way through the ends of her hair. I've even seen stylists put it in the whole hair all at once. I'm not understanding. But the correct way to do this service would be to apply the color, the permanent color, to her new growth. And then after time permits, mix up a fresh batch of demi-permanent to put on her ends because of no alkalinity or smaller amounts of alkalinity versus alkaline. You do not want to compromise the health of your client's hair. You are the doctor of hair. They come to you for a reason. Why not give them a reason to go somewhere else? Another thing, anything that lifts your hair higher or lighter than your natural color you were born with is not demi-permanent, semi-permanent, or temporary hair color. It is permanent, and it is almost more of a lightener. It has lightening actions, lightening powers, because it's making your hair lighter than your natural color. So just know what you're reaching for your clients when they come in for color services. I have been in situations to where I've been in salons where the stylist, me myself was one, wouldn't even offer hair color services because I really didn't understand it. What I did after years going by was sat back and just thought of all the clients I could have taken care of had I just knew what to do. Thinking back, that came up to a big amount, a big dollar amount. So you can either get comfortable turning clients away and only doing rinses and not understanding the law of color, or you can step out of your comfort zone, challenge yourself, step out of your comfort zone and learn the law of color all over again and how to work color all over again and fully get an understanding out of it, and then watch your income level rise, because women, me in particular, do not like to see the unpigmented hair coming through, which would be great. So this is just video number 1. There's more to follow, but this is just going over temporary, semi, and demi-permanent hair. Anytime you want to go darker, anytime you want to blend gray, anytime you want to add lowlights, anytime you want to introduce a client to a color, you want to grab semi-permanent or demi-permanent color. Also, anytime you're refreshing the ends of the hair, you want to use semi or demi-permanent color. And explain to your client, because some of them think they know it all. I prefer permanent color because it lasts longer. Explain to your client that demi-permanent color will last just as long as permanent color if it's applied correctly. And explain to them why you're not using it. Once they hear the part about the alkaline and the porosity and the ends of my hair turning darker, if you get some women under light, you're going to see nothing but green. You get some women under light, you're going to see nothing but violet. Hair is porous and it has grabbed all the cool undertones of the color you're using. So please learn and understand the law of color and what colors are used when, and you can't go wrong. Until next time, until next clip, we'll go over permanent colors, and then we'll start going into developers, and then we'll just go on and on and on until we get hands-on into techniques. Thank you.